Alright, welcome back to another episode of the Anywayz podcast. That's the official name, we're going with it. Episode 6 now. First thing I want to say is it was very hard for me to start this recording. So now that I'm doing this, good job me. Now why was it so hard to start? It's because, I think this is like at least 10 days after the previous recording of episode 5. Could be 2 weeks. Procrastination was involved, so I did think I'll do it tomorrow, and then I'll do it tomorrow. But why would I do it tomorrow? I had some other stuff going on. So with the other stuff that was going on, delaying this felt like the correct thing to do at that time, but now I don't want to delay this any further, especially given the updates on my life, new decisions I've taken, which includes this becoming a higher priority for me. I'm much more convinced of making this podcast and talking and using my time this way than I am convinced in doing other stuff that I'm currently doing in my life. So I will commit to this more. Plus July is coming up. I want to try to finish. I need 4 more until I have the 10th episode. And my flight is on the, when was it? 26th? I want to try to finish before that. So even though I don't want to put pressure on myself, I should start actually, because now I'm taking this more seriously, I'm giving it more priority in my life. I'll also increase the pressure I apply onto myself for this. And I think it's fine. For now. We'll see. All in due time. Yeah, so one thing about this program that I'm using, Descript, is that it actually transcribes, what I say, which is pretty cool. And it's like, I'd say 98% accurate. So obviously this is only English. I wonder what would happen if I speak in other languages. Actually, let me test. Que se passe-t-il si je parle en français? Que se passerait-il si je parlais en français? We'll see. I don't know if it's gonna take French as well. I'll find out after this. Let's try Arabic as well. بدي أقول شي بالعربي. Was that specifically Lebanese? So I doubt it, but I'll try both. Okay. شي بالعربي شو بدي أقول؟ بدي أكون بلبنان 26 شهر. Okay. سوف أكون في لبنان في 26 شهر يوليو. What a silly language. Right, let's try Russian. Я не хочу, ты не люблю. Okay. And one last thing. Ich komme aus dem Libanon. Right, that should be enough. So yeah, now we'll know if this transcribes all 5 of these languages. I think if it transcribes anything other than English, it should be French. That makes sense. I'm sure if French is involved, then Spanish would be as well. That would be impressive. That would be cool. Maybe I have to set the language beforehand. I don't know. I have no idea what this program does. I'm just using it to record. Yeah. So yeah, given that this is a higher priority. So why is this a higher priority in my life? Well, I'm hoping this is going to become like a gateway to content creation in general. And I've spoken to this with people around me at this point. So people around me would hear this and wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, basically I'm trying to I hate having a job. It's so boring. I can't. So I need to find other ways for me to make a living for myself. And the cool part is I also realized that I don't really care about having a fancy life or lifestyle or whatever, or luxury lifestyle. I just need enough. I'd be way happier living in a small town, I don't know, in England or France or something, surrounded by 2 or 3 friends that I like, and where there's enough activities for us not to bore our brains out, than sit in a city and bore my brains out, but also make a decent chunk of cash. Alright, so this money that I'm making, Um, if it weren't because of recent developments where, you know, it wasn't even within my control, I would have a very decent amount of money right now, and I would be using it for absolutely nothing. So, what's the point? What's the point? I'm just sitting all like, my days, like I've reversed my day and night. So it's currently 8 a.m. and I've been awake for 2 hours, 3 hours. Well, to be fair, I did take a nap for like an hour just now, but like in general, I'd be up at like 2 a.m. and I'd still be up, but then I'd go to sleep after work. That makes me dodge an entire day, which feels amazing. Actually, it's one of the best decisions I made. I'm very happy that I'm able to like actually do this consistently. Now, what was I saying? Yeah. So my basically my day is I just hop on my PC. I wake up, you know, scroll reels a bit, reply to messages. You know, I love my friends. They're my first priority. I'm gonna reply to them first. Send them memes. They deserve memes. They deserve too many memes, in fact. So I do that. Wake up, drink a lot of water, and then I go up. So what do I mean by go up? So basically we have like 2 floors. The first floor is the kitchen, living room, bedrooms, and then there's the upstairs floor. Now the upstairs floor used to be the piano room. Oh wait, I've explained this in a prior episode, probably like the first or second. Anyways, the piano room is now also my quote-unquote office. It's my computer room, if you would. That's where I have my PC. So I come up here, spend like what, 6 from 2 to like 8.5, 9, which is now. Like this time I'd be starting to like shut down my PC, you know, close everything, make sure everything's fine, and then go down stairs to work. So because I work on my laptop, the PC is like personal use, and the laptop is for business. Yeah, so spend like 6 hours here, and then I go down, work for 9 hours, maybe chill for another hour at like from 5 to 6, and then I just go to sleep. And it's great. I love this rhythm. It's so good. Oh, why was I talking about my new rhythm? Maybe I just was talking about the rhythm itself. Because this is the rhythm of the night. No. Yeah, so yeah, it's been a very tough week for me. A couple of weeks. They've been very tough. Doesn't feel great, you know. I've come back to the point where I'm like, I don't know what the value of life is again. Like, what's the point? If this is what my life is gonna look like for 50 years, I'd rather it looks like this for 2 more weeks than 50 more years. Regardless of what that looks like, by the way. It's not specifically, like, I just need something to change, that's what I mean. And the sooner this changes, the more I'll be comfortable or convinced of the choice. Yeah. I did think that, well, I have spare change. I may as well use it on, you know, therapy to some degree. And I might. But then a part of me is like, what's the point? Another part of me is like, therapy here in Saudi Arabia, you know, like how do you guarantee that this isn't gonna just make things worse? How do you know? And you don't. I think it's a question of yeah, it's a question of sorry, I got a message from work, but it's like 8:30, so I'm ignoring it for now. Yeah, it's a question of whether you trust the system they have in place. But I don't. But then maybe that's going to be different. Maybe the therapy is going to be different from the other systems that are in place here in this part of the world. I don't know. Part of me hopes that that's the case, and that part of me is like, I think if I just write it out, I've had good days before. Maybe if I write it out, wait for the good days. Work towards the good days. Obviously, that's not nothing just happens. You know, it happens because. So the reason I'm sad now is because I needed to get a job quickly, so I can have a normal life. And then I realized, you know, a normal life relatively quickly. Then I realized I'm not built for a normal life. So now I'm suffering the emotional consequences of that realization. And realizing, so this is why it was so hard for me to do this episode, actually. So I realized that this is actually like, yes, I'm doing this for fun, but it's also kind of not just for fun. I feel like I need this. I need the mode for expression. I need to be able to be myself without feeling like a burden. Because every fucking moment of my life feels like such a burden. Either on me or for me. And I think I'm tired of this. I think I'm very tired of that concept, that mode of life. I think it's time for something to change. And I'm not gonna wait to hit the jackpot for things to change. I'm just gonna change them myself gradually. So here we are. So yeah, I'm gonna put a bit more pressure on myself, on the things I care about, such as this. Now I don't know what else I'm gonna be doing. I'd like to be doing something else, not just this. Like as I said, I'd like this to be the gateway, or like the thing that starts, the initiator, spark, if you will. The spark that, you know, hopefully burns brighter in other places. Also, that's another thing that I thought about probably half an hour ago, which is that, yeah, originally I thought this would be a funny podcast, but then I realized that this podcast really isn't gonna be funny, probably ever. It could have funny moments. It could have a variation of it where it's funny, like specifically when I have guests, such as my friends or otherwise, guests in general. It could become a funny. Yeah, that's the end of the sentence. But yeah, now I understand that it's not gonna be funny, not initially, not in the current state it's in, because I don't need it to be funny. I need it to be serious, because, you know, I'm a humorous person in a general sense. I tend to take things in a balance between lightly and seriously, because if some things are too serious, then everything becomes so boring and routine like. But on the other hand, if things aren't taken serious enough, they can cause very serious damage. So I try to balance that, and sometimes I fail at the balance. Most of the times I don't. At this point I've become a bit of an expert at balancing. That's something that I've been actively working towards. I remember being a teenager and developing this skill. This isn't something new to me. This is something that I've been working towards, and I've been working on, and I'm glad to say that I have reached a level where I'm satisfied with how much I can balance out how much I take something seriously and how much I can take something as a joke, even if it's something super serious. Now, obviously, example, I don't know, someone lost their pet. That's something that is very serious, but I can also jump in oh well, you lost your pet because now maybe do you think it's your fault? But then I apologize immediately after, and I tell them that I was just joking, and most of the time this passes, depending on how serious the person is and what they're going through, because I don't think this is a joke that should be taken to an extent more than haha, you have a bad personality. Just kidding. I mean, we all have flaws in our personality, and if you think you don't, then you're gonna think this joke is very targeted towards you and take it to heart and hate me, which is fine. if you're that person, you know, I'm happy not to be a friend with you. Very much so. But, you know, oh no, my cat died or some shit. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear. You know, not everything has to be taken as a joke. Not everything should. Yeah. And this is to me the thing that shouldn't be taken as a joke. Again, in the particular state it's in now, like the next episode could be like I could come in with like the brightest mood of my life, and all I want to do is kid around, you know, like it's like, yeah, haha, funny jokes, I'm kidding, you know. But yeah, that's kind of it at the moment. I don't like pauses. It's bothering me that there's a pause here, but I've blanked out. I don't know if I have much more to say. Actually, you know what? I do have more to say. There was a film called The Phoenician Scheme. Now, first of all, I think I haven't seen the movie yet, which is actually the point. That's why I bring it up. So it's called The Phoenician Scheme, but it seems like from the trailer that the characters aren't even Lebanese. It's not even part, like it doesn't even take part in. It seemed more about Egypt than about the Levantine area, because there's a map in the trailer. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't want to judge it preemptively. It's a Wes Anderson movie, so definitely it has its aesthetic. And also, Michael Cera is taking the role of a Scandinavian gentleman, which is very funny. I love the accent he's making. So apart from, you know, the plot, I'm not sure. Like the characters seem cool. They have Bryan Cranston, a bunch of cool characters as well. I'd love to see it. Here's the thing, though. It seems like they're not showing it in cinemas here. I don't know. Actually, I kind of need to check. I'd like to see it. But I don't know if it's available anywhere. Hold on. Hold the phone. No, I was gonna write pyramid scheme. Oh no, imagine I get demonetized or whatever because I say that word. So, Phoenician scheme. Here we go. Wealthy businessman Zaja Korda appoints his only daughter, sole heir to the estate. Right. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be available here. Wait, is it available on Apple TV? Unavailable. Yeah, it's not available here. That's what I'm saying. So, why? You know, why is it not available here in Saudi Arabia? It doesn't actually make sense. I'm surprised. I want to see what else is showing. They're over advertising the Formula 1 movie. It's like, okay, cool, there's a Formula 1 movie with Brad Pitt, but also I feel like it's gonna be boring. I don't want to watch it, I think. Maybe I'll change my mind. Like, one of my friends is like really into Formula 1, so he might be like, no, actually it's worth it. And then I'll look into it, but like we've been talking and he never brought it up in the past couple of weeks. So, you know, that should be enough information to tell me that's like if it was a very good movie, he would have been like, hey man, there's this upcoming movie, or hey man, I recently saw this movie, and it's like, you have to watch it. So if he doesn't say that, if he doesn't bring it up, then I'm not gonna bring it up because, you know, it's his thing. Yeah, and also I'm a bit pissed off at the Phoenician scheme thing, where it's like I can't watch the movie and I want to, and also I don't even like. I need to watch the movie, right? But first of all, I don't know when and where to watch it, number one. Number two, I don't know if I can anytime soon. Number three, it's pissing me off because it's taking like part of my culture and my my past, my history, putting it in something, and I can't judge whether that thing or whether the name is being used correctly, at least, or the reputation, or whatever it is. So now I understand cultural appropriation. Just we were never really the target for that until now, so it's a new feeling. I did come into this episode thinking it's gonna be a shorter one, and it seems like it is. Unless I can somehow create a conversation about how short an episode can or can't be. That would be impressive. Yeah, did I mention that I've been sick the past couple of days? Right, this is something. I probably should have Googled this beforehand, but I'm gonna say it anyways, because this is... So instead of me giving you information, now it's me asking a question, which I think is fine. I don't have the answers to everything. Sometimes I have questions for stuff, so this is one of these instances. There's a concept here where we call it tishwibe. That's Lebanese. Now, I don't know if that exists in other Arabic dialects, but for us we call it tishwibe. Now that usually is like the heat version of colds. So maybe it's a heat stroke, but I'm not sure. I feel like heat stroke is too intense of a concept for it to be the equivalent. So it's the heat equivalent of a cold. So when you have a cold, right, you're like sick, mild cold, or like the flu. It's like kind of like that, but it's heat. So usually, when you have a cold, you warm yourself up. Now with tishwibe, you have to cool yourself up, cool yourself down, cool down. Yeah, cool yourself down. Bring your temperature down. So I have to sit in the AC, otherwise I start getting stomach aches and whatnot. So that's annoying. So I do have temperature, but it's not too high. So I guess the body responds to these diseases the same way, I suppose. So I don't know what it's called, but it could be heat stroke, it could be as simple as that, or it could be like another thing, which I'm like, because it doesn't really happen often in English-speaking countries, we don't hear about it often. So I don't hear about it. I haven't heard about it. Maybe I'll recognize it once I hear it. I don't know. I should look it up. I'll look it up at some point. I don't want to spend half the episode just looking stuff up. It'll just be me saying something and then awkward silence, and then I'll just go back to saying more stuff now. So yeah, I'll look into it at some point. Another thing, man. Okay, so she's probably gonna hear this. So my friend from like 12 years ago ish, right? Jasmine. She's an artist now. I'll put some link in the description to her stuff if you guys are interested. She's a drummer, pretty good drummer actually, decent music as well. Looking forward to the journey. So after like 12 years, out of nowhere, she just follows me on Instagram again. I'm like, wait a minute, not only do I know this person, I was thinking about her like 2 or 3 days ago. I'm like, wait a minute, I remember this person at some point. We were friends, and then like we just like never talked again. Like that, it would be crazy. And then I looked into my followers list or following list, and she wasn't there anymore. But now I know why, because she basically was off social media for 2 years. She told me now. So yeah, it was like a blast from the past, man. She knows so many weird things about me. Like that was weird back in the days. It's very funny. Yeah, I'm very glad that we're back in contact now. It's pretty nice. But it was so weird that I was in the UK. She's British, so I was in the UK last year for a full year. And I'm like, man, I remember I have one more British friend. I remember I have many British friends. I've met a couple. Now, there's one more that I can't see. And then there's one that I just don't remember. Who is that person? And it's her, man. And now I remember. It feels so silly. But yeah. I'll be back in the UK at some point. It's fine. It's all good. But yeah, interesting. It is nice. Friends are nice. Friends are some of the good parts of my life. The more consistently good parts of my life. Like obviously there's ups and downs. Like I've had so many issues with my friends, especially like my closest friends. I'm talking like the group from Lebanon that I've known like since we were in school together, right? So like we're talking like 15 years now I've known them. We've had a lot of problems back in our days, and even now we don't necessarily agree on everything. Especially like Gerard knows. He's probably gonna, like, if he hears this, he will probably know what I'm talking about here. We don't necessarily agree on everything, right? Sometimes we leave a conversation disagreeing and then come back and we're like, well, actually, you were right, or I was right, or we were both right to a certain level of right, right? Like we were like 50% of what you said was correct, but also like what I said was complementary to the thing you said. Basically, we're adults now, you know. We don't just get mad at each other out of nowhere. We coordinate, we cooperate, we talk about it, and come to a conclusion. We don't necessarily need to get to the conclusion immediately. It takes its sweet time sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's very silly. So that's the thing. I think it's very silly to, like, people getting mad is such a silly concept. Like, why are you mad? Why are you angry? Okay, sure, you can get angry. Why are you yelling? Everyone gets angry. Why are you yelling though? Like, why is this something that you yell about? Just be calm, you know, talk about it. Like, the solution isn't gonna come if the decibels that you're exerting are higher. I mean, I'm a very loud person, but because I talk loud, I don't yell a lot. I rarely yell, I feel like. So, you yelling about something that you're angry about isn't gonna bring the solution any closer to reality. It's just gonna make the other person be like, hey man, can you shut the fuck up? So we can concentrate on the solutions like adults and not, you know, be children about this. This isn't, you know, kindergarten. Like, just like be more and more active member of society. Don't be so passive with your little yellings. That's a huge problem I have. Like, if someone like automatically yells, or even worse, doesn't say anything, that's a KO. Like, if there's a problem and your solution is keeping the solution to yourself or keeping your opinion to yourself, thanks man, that's a huge contribution. Also, fuck off, you know. So yeah, I think I'm pretty selective with my friends, but yeah, I mean, I say that, but I have a lot of friends. But I swear, I love all of my friends. The ones that I love. Some of them I'm like acquaintances too. And I'm not a two-faced person. If I don't like you, you will know that I don't like you. Some people probably know what I'm talking about by hearing this. Yeah, I do love all of my friends. Like, it's like first of all, it took me a long time to realize that I do love my friends. Second of all, the second step for me that was like, I'm going to be honest, like, this is recent developments for me. Like, I'm talking like 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't be saying these things, I think, right? It was also hard for me to accept that I am able to love and like to say, and that, like, that's the second thing. The third thing is to accept that I can say that I love my friends without it being the end of the world. That was another huge milestone for me. So I'm very happy that I am able to do these things now, and honestly, you know, and again, a good job me the second time this episode. I feel like I need to give myself a bit of credit, because these days it feels like I'm not given any credit for anything. In fact, it seems like nothing I do is ever good enough, so yeah. Can you hear the AC? I can see the mic like pick up some noise. I hope it's not in the... I mean, I heard last episode. It didn't seem like it picked up the AC. The fan of the AC. No, that would be annoying. So yeah, I do love all of my friends, even though I have a lot of friends. But I think... like, that's the thing. People come and go. For example, one of the people that I've been talking to like almost every day for the past 6 months. I haven't spoken to her in a while. But she's like moving to a new apartment. Her partner moved in with her, etc., etc. She'll know, you know. She knows who she is. Recently, we haven't been speaking a lot, and I don't blame her. It's fine. I mean, I had a very similar phase a few years ago where I was not ready to respond to people. I just didn't want to. So I just spoke to like 1 or 2 of my friends, and that's a cool part about like all of my friends, which is that they understand. Like, most of them understand. Like, again, another example. Jasmine. Our resident drummer and artist, right? I think we hadn't spoken for like 5 years, and now we've just picked back up where we left off, and it's like so cool. Like, I really like that. Like, we don't need to be like, I don't need to be besties with everyone, but if you're my friend and I'm your friend and we value each other's lives and each other's presence in our lives, it's nice to like follow up from time to time. Hey, how's it going, man? Oh, you're doing this, man. I got you. I support you. You support me. It's all good, you know. And I feel like the same thing will happen this July once the boys are back in town. Like that's what happened when George, my friend, my bestie. Oh yeah, George visited me in, well, not just me. He visited the Emirates, and he also visited me in Dubai. Like we just picked back up where we left off, you know. Like it's like nothing changed. It was like a 5-year gap between the last time I saw him. Nothing changed. It was so funny. I had so much fun. It doesn't change the fact that we've developed our own, you know, separate ways. Each one developed skills, lives, friends, friendships. You know, I'm happy for him. I'm not jealous or anything. I'm happy for him. Like this is how it should be. Good job, man. Good job, all of my friends. You guys are all amazing. So yeah. Luckily, I managed to make this episode satisfactorily long. Okay, long enough. I just didn't want to say long enough. Now I am caught on the record saying long enough. Yeah, whatever, fuck it. So yeah, 30 minutes, not bad. Also, now I must go down and work, so yeah. Thank you for listening. I hope whatever you're going through, you pass by it and you're like, that wasn't so bad. I needed this for development anyway. Because I hope that's what happens to me. Alright, bye.